got this vintage video camera documentary.
What, the camcorder that his mom found in the attic?
He called it vintage.
Yes, because for them, anything before what? 2000? No, wait, 2010. These characters were born in 2010.
Welcome to GVSV.
Welcome to GVSV. This is Alex and Carl. We're here today to watch Heartstopper Season 3, Episode 4, Journey.
And not like the band.
And not like the band. Don't Stop Believing?
Very good.
I only know that because of Glee.
So close to being proud.
So close. It's okay because the other day you were talking about Home by Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne, yeah.
Yeah, and I sat there and I was like, wait, I know that's Sharon Osbourne's husband. I sat there, I was like, she was in all those reality TV shows back in the early 2000s. So, Carl, what happened last episode? As you sit there and give me evils.
How did we go to the same high school?
Ozzy
Osbourne? No, not so much.
I can vaguely picture what he looks like, but only because he would pop up in the background of like his wife's appearances on the show.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sad face.
I love you.
Sharon! Sharon! I can't have bubbles at my show. I'm the bloody Prince of Darkness, Sharon! No, not so much.
I have no idea what that is.
That's a very poor impression of Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay. I believe you. So, last
bathe
episode...
in whiskey and Metallica after this. Which is appropriate. Anyway,
Yes.
so, Heartstopper.
Last episode titled Talk.
Yes. Still reeling from that.
I mean, that was like 10 minutes ago.
Yes. We have to clarify that for folks, because
Yeah.
why are they reeling from days ago? No, 10 minutes ago. Really.
Yes.
Enough time for the camera to cool down.
Pretty much.
So this one's named Journey, and this could be anything. It could be light. It could be heavy.
I mean, I think we're going to start off from where we left off.
Yes. Well, of course.
Yes. And I think, I perceive it as how do we move forward from there to getting out of there?
Just like we spoke about last episode.
Yeah.
All right. We're talking about being ready for help, wanting for help, and then taking that first step through the door,
Yes.
like you said.
Yes.
All right. And that could be the first step of Charlie's journey.
Yes.
So that could be, and that doesn't have to have a positive and negative connotation to it. It's just what it is. It's a journey.
Yeah.
But we won't find out until push the button. Just push play.
1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Who sings that?
Let's go.
No, just push play.
I don't know.
If you know, put it in the comments.
Chris, wait a minute. Did the entire term just pass? This is a time skip?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
Charlie wants to get home and unpacked and stuff.
Can't believe it's been 2 months.
Time skip.
A big one.
It's been a long 2 months.
Have you done any journaling?
It's good activity.
Yes. I used to be.
It helps you process your emotions.
Yes, it does.
Have you even tried it?
I love that Nick has a support group. I mean,
Can I say something about journaling real quick?
of course.
Okay.
You remember how much I used to journal in high school?
Do you still journal?
I have a journal in my work backpack that the only time I've been able to actually put entries into is when I'm stuck on the plane flying out to customer sites.
So you're saying I have to send you way more often?
Exactly.
Okay. So I journal
Yes.
nearly daily.
Mm-hmm.
And how she had said it's a great way to process emotions.
Yes.
If you were to open my journal, completely illegible.
Yeah.
But like, I know my handwriting's bad. This is purposely illegible.
I could have swore you journaled on your phone.
I journal many places,
Okay.
but when I write a journal,
Yeah.
right, I have. You see my leather-bound journal sitting on my desk at home?
No.
Okay. Well, I have a leather-bound journal sitting on my desk at home.
Okay.
Right, and basically it looks just like scribble.
Okay.
Because all it is a transference.
Okay.
I'm not there to look back at it.
Yes.
I'm there to energetically process what I'm thinking and feeling at the time and get it off.
I know for me, I would use notepads on my phone, and I would go for these long walks along the river, and I would just speech to text my feelings.
Okay.
And sometimes it was not even just my feelings about what was going on, but it was more so a conversation that I wanted to have with someone that I just needed to get out of my head.
I got you. For me, journaling is not always, but it's now used as a means of transference. Even when I do an audio, I do the same sometimes on the way into work.
Yeah.
And I just want to get something off my chest because it's just being this boat anchor of an emotion.
Yeah.
You know how you feel better when you feel better when you talk to somebody about it?
Yeah.
Because you've gotten it off your chest?
Yeah.
That's why I use journaling.
I know.
All right. So I have it like super duper password locked on my phone.
Yeah.
And if you open my journal, it's just scribble. No intention of actually ever going back to it.
Yeah.
But just so when she said, and I think it's so important for people to realize there's so many tools of processing emotion. It's not just having hard conversations. Sometimes it could just be writing out what you're thinking and feeling. It's been so impactful for me.
Yes.
For moving on from certain emotions and feelings and thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes journaling, can be used for introspection and stuff like that. But for me, it's just that transference.
Yeah.
Getting it off, feeling more centered.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say that I think when I used to journal more regularly when I was younger, it helped me to get a lot of those feelings out of my head. Because I just needed to put them somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was just filling up those like composition, like marble cover notebooks constantly. Like I have a short box upstairs with like 15 or 20 of them, just one right after the other. Even when I went to the Navy, like I have entire like books of just like, hey, out at sea, been out at sea for a few weeks, blah, blah, like just constantly. Like I think from like the age of 15 to 26, 27, just like recorded.
Have you ever tried like guided journaling?
What do you mean guided?
So there are journals out there that
Okay.
have prompts.
Okay.
So you journal towards that prompt.
I don't understand what that means.
So not plugging anything,
But I mean, obviously a tool that you've used.
so you've seen my library. All right. So
I've helped you move it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say
So
I've
you've
seen
seen
it.
my I've spoken with you at length about Ryan Holiday's work.
Yes.
All right. He has a book called The Daily Stoic.
Okay.
You know my relationship with Stoics.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've seen your socials and I've seen a lot of the posts that you put out there.
So The Daily Stoic is 365 morning and evening prompts for you to journal against.
Okay.
Something as simple as Let's take away from Stoicism because now everybody's gonna get around that.
Exactly.
All right. So, what have you done today that you're proud of?
Yeah.
What could you do better tomorrow?
Yeah.
And that would be a prompt, and you write towards that.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Okay. I understand.
Okay.
So not just like what's going on with you or like how are you feeling, but more so along the lines of like, hey, like you said, guided.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like focus the thought.
So, for instance, starting out, all right, and I found this helps with meditation as well. All right. If a person's just starting out journaling and it's not something that they have done before or know how to do or even sure that they want to do, like a guided journaling activity could be helpful. The same way when people ask me, well, how can you possibly sit still for a half hour to an hour meditating? It's because I started out 5 minutes in a guided meditation.
Exactly.
It didn't start out where I could just zone out not zone
But-
out. That's a poor characterization of meditation.
True, but I think, like you said, you're building up this threshold. And the thing is that I feel like the same thing can be said about most things in life. Like when I started, when you started off as my trainer 3 years ago, like I could barely lift anything. And then, over months, over years, over time, like I could tell, like, just it slowly increased. And it was like, oh, hey, like, now I have no problem, like, picking up that case of water. Like now it's like, oh, hey, I can like pick up 2 cases of water. Like,
Well, it's functional.
Yeah.
But I'm going to digress a little bit because we're getting away from the show. But the way she said about it processing emotion, I think is so impactful. It's so important. It's, for me, been such a great tool. I know for many other folks that I've suggested to has been also a great tool. I know you've done it before.
Yeah.
All right. So I was kind of curious about how you went about it, and, that process and liking and relating to the fact that you have that energy transference and processing emotions. It could be such a powerful tool. And why it's such a powerful tool, it is mobile.
yes.
Right. So when you're learning to process your emotions and all that stuff, people have their widgets and the things that they carry around.
Yeah.
But journaling, everybody has a phone.
Oh, no. Like
It's super portable.
I mean, like, yeah, I do leave those messages in my notes, but like I keep my physical journal with me in my work backpack.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But now people, when you bring out that journal,
Yeah.
now people know you're journaling.
Yeah.
And maybe that has a stigma to it, or you associate stigma towards it. And I'm
mean,
not saying you, I'm saying
know.
people. So I'm saying, hey, look, here's a tool that could possibly help you process emotions that you can do, and people just think you're texting.
No, I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I
You do it
understand.
covertly, and you're actually, at a tough point in the day, and you're just getting it out there. It maybe helps you feel better.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sorry.
No, it's good. And here's the thing. I mean, talking about feeling better, I am so happy to see that Nick has his own support network.
Yes.
And I love that Tara is there for him and pushing him. And just to see how that relationship, which, I mean, effectively started off as, 2 kids when they were 13 who had this one kiss at a dance.
Yeah.
And then turned into, hey, you're the first person other than the boy that I kissed who knows that, I'm possibly having an interest in boys.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a friend.
Sometimes you just need a friend.
Here we go.
December 17th.
Back in September, Charlie had a GP appointment.
Okay, we still going back.
Yeah.
Must have gone okay, because he got referred to an eating disorder service. But the first appointment for that wasn't until January. Things started to get really bad after that. Then he started getting really angry. He started skipping school a lot.
Hmm.
And it was becoming unbearable for him.
I hate feeling like this.
It's okay. I read up about it online as well, and I tried to just be there.
accident,
I know.
but I can't stop it.
Maybe you should tell your parents.
Don't cry. If you cry, I'll cry.
Not sure I can help it. It was weird being at school with Charlie.
So, I'm doing good, but I think I want to talk about it.
It's your show.
I know. So, just to let everyone out there know, we've probably danced around this discussion multiple times. Talked about missing school and repeating sophomore year, and I mean, I guess for me, talking about my own mental health struggle when I was in high school, there were like, I guess 5 points that, you know, I want to just hit on that I feel like relate to what's happening in the show, and anything more, I guess, in depth, you know, we can maybe at a later date have a podcast around it, whether it's mental health or
That's
I know.
all up to you.
I know. But so with respect to myself and my journey, these are the 5 points. Number one, when I was a sophomore in high school, I felt bullied, isolated, and alone. Second thing was that kind of pushed me towards a major depressive episode. And then I started to stop going to class. And I've said this before, it was at least 70 days before they stopped counting. And it wasn't all at once. Like I was just not wanting to be there. I just didn't want to deal with being around that place and those people, and I withdrew. I isolated myself. I pulled back, and obviously it got to the point where I decided that the world would be better off without me, and that led to me being hospitalized for 3 weeks. And even though my experience mirrors what I'm seeing Charlie go through, it doesn't, I feel like I'm far enough removed that I'm not feeling it right now.
Okay.
But I feel like what Nick is going through right here and right now is pretty much what you were having to deal with. Because, I mean, and the thing was that I didn't know until years later that you and our friends pretty much went to my parents' place.
Yeah.
Like, while I was in the hospital.
Well, we couldn't see you.
I know.
You weren't allowed anybody.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out how you were doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we went to your parents' house. Spoke to your parents.
Yeah. And I guess the only other thing that I remember people telling me about that time was the teacher, the Spanish teacher who I was friends with. He told me that the day it happened, they pulled the entire faculty into the school library and told them.
Yeah.
Like, everyone. And so everybody who was there that year knew. And then...
Well, the faculty, no.
No. I understand that.
Yeah.
But the problem was that the very next year when I came back and I had to retake all of my sophomore classes, I took my sophomore English class with a brand new faculty member.
Mm.
And he was a great guy. Loved him. I mean, he would make us watch like Nathan Lane and Robin Williams films all the time.
Which is never a bad thing.
Which was never a bad thing. But the situation was that we watched God.
He didn't know how to.
No. The movie, Oh Captain, My Captain, Robin Williams. God damn it. I'm blanking right now.
Okay. It's okay.
But there's I feel bad.
Well, don't feel bad.
No. But this is part of the story.
Basically, the teacher didn't even know to watch out how things might affect you.
Yes, and there's a scene in this movie where one of the characters uses a gun, and pretty much like that's the end of that character. And even though I should have read the book because we were assigned the book and I should have known that the scene was coming, I didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there in the back of the classroom and I'm watching this only less than a year from when I was hospitalized. And I didn't even the scene hadn't happened yet, but there was enough foreshadowing that I knew something bad was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there at my desk trembling and sobbing, and not audibly, but just like tears were just like pouring down my face. And the guy who was sitting in the desk next to me, he's like, Alex, are you okay? And then he just kind of like flagged the teacher, and then the teacher came back, sat down next to me, and like held my hand for the rest of class until like the bell rang. And it was just, and like they're like, and I was like, and I just kept repeating I'm fine. And it was just, that was it. I just because I just sat there and I watched and I internalized it, and it just hit. But, it's been, 28 and a half years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say that as far as the story is concerned, I'm more concerned about what's happening with Nick.
Really?
Yeah. Because I know Charlie's in trouble, and I know that he's getting help, but I feel like Nick is also going through it.
Yeah, there's a bit of going through it.
Yeah.
That happens in a person in Nick's position, regardless of the relationship of the other person.
Yeah.
And I don't want to minimize that position. Having been in that position, pales in comparison to what you went through, what Charlie's going through. But it has it's your own personal hell.
Yeah.
Right? Because people come to you. What's going on with this person? Don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like every day.
So like multiple people.
When it wasn't even when you went to the hospital. It's when the freaking abscesses started piling up and that everybody knew that you were just not there anymore. It was like, where's Alex? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm here. And remember, we're old. So this is before cell phones. This is before really instant messenger was a thing. So instant messenger was a thing, but it was not like you didn't have ready access to it. There's no ready access to other humans.
I mean, the only thing that we could do
other than like phone calls and walking to the person's house.
I know. That was it. It was literally pick up the phone or walk across town.
But you weren't taking phone calls.
Oh my God. I was just pushing the world away.
Yeah, you were. And
I
I say that
and here's the thing.
lovingly and not judgingly. You know,
Like, here's a twist on that time in my life that I don't even know if we've had this conversation yet.
no.
Me being hospitalized happened late April, early May.
Okay.
Around, because I was there for like 3 weeks. About 4 months earlier, my mom could tell that something was wrong, and she took me to a therapist,
Okay.
but a therapist who had a very religious slant, and pretty much spent the entire session trying to convince me that, like, hey, everything that you feel is wrong, and you're going to hell.
That doesn't sound like a therapist.
Yeah. Well, when I ended up in the hospital, I pretty much called him out by name, and I was like, this person in this location said these things to me.
Well, I hope for that person had certification that got taken away.
Yeah. Ready to get into it?
Dude, absolutely. All on
Hey,
all on you, bud.
let's go.
He wasn't allowed his phone in there, so I couldn't even ask how he was. Guess I tried to
He's
keep myself
driving.
busy.
Yeah. God. Smash
Where's
Brothers.
Charlie been? He's missed like the last 4 practices.
He's just off sick at the moment. Pretty bad.
Seriously? What's going on with him?
I just can't really talk about it.
All good, mate.
Yeah. We're here for you.
Good boys. Good boys.
Charlie said I could tell our friends what was going on. He didn't want them all visiting, but they still found a way to show their support.
Does he have access to a Blu-ray player at all?
Yeah, probably.
What's a Blu-ray player?
So I'll tell you, she's having a massive Halloween party.
What'd I say?
So
What'd I say?
So
What did I say?
you said that he looks like the perfect next Captain America. And unfortunately,
Unfortunately, I'm correct.
unfortunately, I saw a screenshot of this in my socials feed.
Oh.
And it ruined it. And I sat there and I was like, oh, God, I wish I didn't see this. But yeah, no, he looks great. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I mean, I still love Chris Evans.
I'm going to play lottery after this. Just saying.
We need to play the lottery.
Technically, it's Captain Puerto Rico.
This is all I could find.
What about the photos? Come down, Imogen.
I'm making a video for Charlie so he knows how much we all love him. What do you have to say to your boyfriend, Charlie Spring?
Hi, Charlie. I love you.
Oh, Tao, cool rabbit costume.
I'm clearly Frank from Donnie Darko.
I never
Were
saw
you
it.
asleep again?
I've never seen it.
Were you asleep again?
Were you asleep again? Oh no. Oh.
Captain America doesn't drink.
Well, I think his metabolism prevents him from actually feeling it. Whoa. Okay.
I guess saying they're a couple now.
I mean, she needed somebody to be part of her couple's costume.
I guess it works out.
Yeah. I mean, what was it that she said about dating boys in the last episode? Almost as if it wasn't so much about them, but just kind of wanting to be around guys who were popular. And then I feel like maybe she was doing it for the wrong reasons. Maybe she didn't really feel...
Dating somebody based on what other people think that person is a real bad way to go about dating somebody.
Exactly. And maybe this is what she needed, or
maybe this is just what alliance are.
True.
And the next scene, she's storming away, huh?
Oh, and she's
Yeah.
Everyone would know it's wrong. I'm allowed to
Oh. I wouldn't want to be at that party either.
Yeah, me neither.
Mind if I join?
I love the scenes between these two guys. I feel like their relationship elevates every time.
Yeah. Tao freaking stepping up big time right here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, next year I'm gonna make you go as Spider-Man.
Your Marvel agenda is never going to work on me.
Your Marvel agenda. Even if I go as Mary Jane, that's hilarious.
I just got that.
That last scene just hit me. Oh,
Yeah?
oh yeah. I don't know, just watching Nick hurt. Yeah. Yeah. I just, like, I know, yeah, Charlie's the one going through it. Charlie's someplace getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Nick is the one struggling.
Nick's the strong one. Nick is the place where the waves crash.
But as mentioned previously, sometimes we need to check on our strong ones. Because sometimes they need a place to flop to.
Well, he seems a ton better at it than most folks.
Well, I'm just glad that Tao was there for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I say like a ton better, like he in that moment was able to flop.
Exactly.
Most strong folks that I know
Yes. Just internalize it and swallow it.
just try to swallow it.
Yeah.
And the waves crash against the rocks until the rocks are no longer there.
I know.
Then all is still.
Your Marvel agenda.
My Marvel agenda.
Mary Jane, do the upside down kiss.
Okay, maybe I can be persuaded.
See? Everything's in
Do I have
negotiation.
anorexia and OCD?
Anorexia and OCD. That makes sense.
Not really an awkward way to say that.
Which is also true.
I guess that makes sense.
I mean, I was a bit surprised about the OCD, but I have all these rules in my head about food, and if I don't follow them, I feel like I'm going to die.
The word sorry is still...
Oh.
Good
Can I
man.
play the mental illness card now?
I'd visit him with his family a couple times a week after that. Part of me wished I could go every day, but he needed space.
So, my family was visiting me every day.
Okay.
And, I mean, as much as I know they wanted to be there, and I was appreciative for their time and attention, I actually, after a few visits, kind of asked them to, hey, can you just, like, not come for a couple days? Or, like, just kind of skip a couple days? Because, like...
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need space.
Yeah. And the thing is that on the flip side, I was in the hospital because they put me in a children's ward.
Okay.
And so I'm there with people who were under the age of 18, like as young as like 10 or 12.
Okay.
And some of these people had no one to come visit ever. And that was also hard to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't magically better or anything like that. I know it doesn't work like that.
Can you kiss me, please?
Maybe it's just me hoping for the best. I think it helped. I really do.
The past few months have not been great. My therapist said I should write about it in my journal.
Oh my god. We're repeating the entire episode, but from his perspective.
Staying in the clinic for a couple of months was not my plan. But I should count myself lucky that my parents could even afford it. And that I went to one that actually managed to help me. But how do I talk to my friends?
Well, there is a landline on the wall. Much nicer than DMing your friends on Snapchat or whatever it is you kids are using these days.
Mine's bad.
We can't all be artists.
I remember having to do these random like art therapy things where I think they were just trying to gauge like your perception of yourself.
Okay.
Where they're like, hey, draw me a person. I guess just to I guess determine whether or not like you have, you know, the wherewithal to like, you know, are you perceiving yourself to be like different than you actually are? And then, you know, draw me a tree. Draw me a house. You know, just very like simple things that, you know, hopefully any young adult or, you know, I guess child could do. And I remember for the person, it was like pretty generic. For the house, I drew a floor plan because they sat there and I was like, what is the, they were like, I was like, can I draw whatever I want? And they're like, yeah, that's like whatever you want. And I was like, okay, I'm drawing a floor plan. And it was a house that
the engineer in you coming out.
I know. It was a house that me and my parents had just gone into for an open house like after church one day.
Mm-hmm.
And the layout of it just like stuck in there, and I still see it.
Okay.
I still see it. It's like you go in there's the foyer, the kitchen's to the left, the great den is to the right. There were like 4 bedrooms upstairs. I mean, it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I drew it. I just like big square, like entrance, stairs going up to the left, like like it's even to this day, this is like 30 years late, like 28 years later, I still have it in there. Like it was just this like, I just pictured it. I was like, yeah, you know, I'd love to live here. And then the tree, and I drew the tree trunk, and then I was like, you know what? I drew like a weeping willow, and the doctor was like, that's kind of telling. And I was like, what do you mean kind of telling? I was like, it's a weeping willow. I think they're beautiful. Like, I have this childhood memory of my dad taking us out to a park and like me running through the leaves and just like trying to catch them with my arms. And like, I was like, this isn't sad. This is nice.
So by projecting the name onto.
Exactly. So, and having to meet other people and making friends.
Which was the last thing you wanted to do?
No, actually, it was interesting. Being there and being away from the school kind of helped me disconnect from all of that. Like, it was interesting because I ended up making this really quick friend group while I was there. Like, there was, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 of us, and I just remember us just kind of hanging out and talking and sharing our feelings and our experiences. And I mean, some of them, I mean, far worse than me, far worse than me. Just stories of like just what they went through and what they were doing and how they ended up there. And I just, I felt grateful that, the worst thing that happened to me was, I sprained my ankle and I like scratched my face. Like that was it. I was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, let's go.
Hi, Charlie. I'm going to be your therapist while you're here. Have a little chat.
I still had to do schoolwork.
Oh no.
What are you studying?
It's just chemistry.
Yeah.
I hate chemistry. Never understood it.
That's exactly what I was having to like work on while I was in there.
Chemistry?
Yes. Didn't matter because I was too far behind.
Okay.
I think a part of me didn't even want to get better, because putting in the effort to change seemed too hard. I thought food was something I could control, but it was the other way around. I could have called Nick whenever I wanted, but I was still feeling so horrible, and I didn't want him to worry. I don't even know what I would have said to him. I hate it here and I can't stop crying.
Nick really wants to talk to you.
Yeah, I want to talk to him too.
He's my favourite.
But
I like him.
Aw, that's sweet.
Well, even if you do have anorexia and OCD, the word sorry is still banned.
Oh, can't I play the mental illness card now? Could you do me a favour before I go? Could you look up Tal's number? Sorry I didn't tell you about all of this.
Well, I didn't exactly make it easy for you.
You were having your summer of love. Not a crime.
Yeah, well, I love you too. Can I ask you how you are? Or is that kind of a shit question right now?
Yeah, it's kind of a shit question right now. Can you explain to me what happened with Imogen and Zahar? Because
Imogen was doing shots like all night. A whole bottle of tequila.
Jesus.
Oh no.
Oh. Whole bottle of tequila.
Apparently.
Oh.
He's got this vintage video camera documentary.
What, the camcorder that he got his mom found in the attic?
He called it vintage.
Yes, because for them anything before what, 2000? No, wait, 2010. These characters were born in 2010.
I bought something very similar from when my firstborn was born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the same camera.
Yeah.
He called it vintage.
Yeah, because it predates them.
Fucker.
Listen, I mean, think about the things that for us predate our birth.
Oh, the music was amazing.
Yeah, but doesn't mean that I want to own an 8-track player.
Okay.
Which is obviously vintage by our standards.
I have a record player.
Yes, so did my mom when I was a kid.
So did my father when I was a kid.
You know what my mom used to play?
What's that?
Menudo.
Menudo. Okay.
Oh my god. Like with the original band with Ricky Martin.
Jesus. When I was a kid, I had a 45 player. My father owned like a ton of records.
Yes.
And I would listen to like Billy Joel's
Piano Man?
No, it just escaped me.
Yeah, just like that Robin Williams film.
Oh my god.
I know. It happened to me.
I used to listen to this all the time.
I have a copy of the book upstairs and I can see the cover of it. It's like these guys wearing these like red coats, these red like...
For the longest time.
There you go.
That's just like how I listen to the song in my head. But I on repeat, and I can remember. It's just like a core memory. So I have a record player.
Yeah.
Record players are awesome.
Yeah.
They might be vintage.
Yeah.
But they're awesome. I still have that camcorder.
I still have a
play button.
I still have my Walkman.
Let me get you one of those.
I hope that by watching this video, he'll feel like he's been here the whole time.
Hey Charlie, so I read the Song of Achilles like you suggested, and I wasn't prepared and I cried for about 4 hours, so thank you for that. Barbie and Dracula seem making out at a house party.
Oh god.
Is this just a joke to you?
That's why she was mad. Okay.
That's why she's mad. Because she feels like Imogen's not taking it seriously.
Tell him.
So,
well. I posted a new painting on Instagram, and now I have over 10,000 followers. 10,000's not that many. Give me that. I don't know if you have a phone in there, Charlie, but I think he'd like to hear your voice.
I can't cook, I've told you this. Hi, Charlie. There's a spare seat waiting for you for when you get back.
Oh, Mr. Farouk.
Bye, Charlie.
I miss you, Charlie. I love you.
We love you, and we miss you. I hope that this video makes you feel loved.
Although I am still mad at you about the Song of Achilles. It's a book thing, don't worry about it.
It's a book thing.
Hi, Charlie. I love you.
Being at the clinic didn't magically cure me of mental illness, but it got me out of the deep end.
Ready?
Yeah.
Dad looks like he hasn't shaved in a while.
Just been stressing out.
I know. Probably rushing after work to like get the family together.
Maybe I won't ever get back to normal, whatever that is.
I'm glad he said that. Whatever that is.
I didn't hear what you just said.
I said I'm glad he said that. Because he says, I don't know if I'll ever get back to normal. Whatever that is. And I think too many people put too high a premium on what normal means. Because normal is so different for everybody. I don't think there's really a normal that you can point out to that's applicable to everybody.
I think for me, I wasn't really wanting to go back to the way things were. I think for me, I just needed a fresh start. And going away for 3 weeks helped start that, because not only was I kind of just taken out of my situation and dropped somewhere else, but suddenly I had to start over.
Yeah.
And I will say that most often in my life, when I've had to just kind of start over, it's always led to a much better place for me. And not just, not just the hospital and not just, but leaving home and joining the military.
Yep. That's a big restart, right?
Yeah. I mean, getting to boot camp, putting everything that I brought with me in that cardboard box, sending it home, and literally starting over with nothing. Like, we put so much value on, we as a society put so much value on physical items, and when you're stripped away of everything, it's amazing how liberating you can feel.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just constant, like starting over, first duty station, first command, first deployment, like just every few months, every other year, it was just, we're starting over, someplace new, somewhere different, and I will say that, even after the hospital, even after high school, I was obviously struggling. I mean, after high school, I was directionless. I had no idea where I wanted to go, what I was doing. I was not really successfully attending college, and to leave home and join the military and go through that experience, I feel gave me the structure that I needed.
Yeah.
Because I never would have been able to go back to college like I did when I was 30.
Yeah.
And not only, push through community college and an online bachelor's degree, but to actually make it all the way up and through grad school. Like, that person did not exist before I left home and joined the military.
It's funny how often that happens.
Yeah.
You kind of reinvent yourself when you're taking everything away.
Yep.
Because you have to.
Because you have to.
It says lasagna on your meal plan for today's. Is that all right?
Yeah. Mom,
Yeah.
I love you.
do I have time to go and say hi to Nick?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
And it's just that last scene made me feel so happy.
It's good.
It was literally just like heartwarming just to see the two of them just like reconnect. Oh God. But like not in a bad way. Just like it was just so like moving.
It's an important episode.
It was a very important episode.
I mean, there's a lot of things that were covered, a lot of ways that you related. Well, I'm sure that folks in the audience will relate to it.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we do a PSA. I think it's important that we link some resources.
Yeah.
When we edit this, because you're not alone. There's people who love you, even though you don't think they do, or that you can't ever imagine yourself being loved.
And
it's important to reach out. Yeah. And sometimes you'll feel like you could reach out to somebody you know. So we're going to link some numbers and some websites that maybe you can use as a resource when times get tough. It's an incredible sign of strength to reach out and say that you need help. It's not weakness. It's not weakness at all. So my hope is that if you do feel the need to speak to somebody, or that you seriously take our invite to heart and click on the links on the comment section or wherever Alex puts it.
Yeah.
Call the phone numbers. Talk to somebody. You're not alone. And I think with that,
I think we should wrap up.
Wrap it up.
So,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.